Leo, happy days, namaste. 5-card reading, bit different. 9th to the 20th of November. This is why am I stuck. I just thought I'd do it this one after the full moon, because we've been asked to come into our authentic selves all this last few weeks, months, and now we've had that change, which is really, really quite powerful, especially people that are on there. I think it's Saturn, the second Saturn return, because that's a big change. Definitely a big change. Okay, so why am I stuck? Right, why am I stuck? What got you into this? What was hidden? Advice to follow, and what will happen? Okay, so you're going to come into balance. Right, so why am I stuck? Protect and nurture. Have you been protecting and nurturing yourself? Have you been protecting and nurturing others? Have you been protecting and nurturing an idea of yourself, of who you're supposed to be and how you're supposed to behave, given what you've been, I don't know, told over the years, or called, or, you know, fitting into society, because different people have different success criteria. What around you? What is the success criteria around you? You know, so are you just been trying to achieve that, or are you actually been looking out for yourself? So we are going into the new, so maybe this is what's stuck, that you're not actually spending enough time with you, or maybe because of all this you've actually learned something, and now you're stepping into this space where you need to be looking more out for you than you have been looking out for others, you know. So is what you're doing worth giving up life force for? So have you been trying to fit into, well, I mean, not saying, you know, consciously, because I don't think we do a lot of stuff consciously, given that we do live in a 3D world and there are things that we have to do. So, but is it worth giving up life force for? Are you overworking? Are you overthinking? Are you overdoing? What are you doing, and is it worth giving up life force for? Because at the end of the day, it is a journey and there is supposed to be joy in it. So if you've discovered that, you know, you're just trying to show people that you have value, or what you think has value, or you're trying to prove a point about something, you know, or you're trying to be successful on somebody else's success criteria, then is that actually worth that? Do you know, it's just like regrets of the dying, isn't it? I should have ate more, you know, I should have danced more, I should have gone on adventures more, all that sort of stuff. So have a look. This is what's getting it. Is it worth giving up life force for? All this trying to achieve, or this trying to not achieve? Or, you know, are you holding yourself back by not having self-belief and, I don't know, going back to school to learn something that you're actually interested in, rather than doing a job that you don't like anymore? Perhaps it's that. So what was hidden? What was hidden? Maybe you've hidden your inner self, your inner motivations, your inner feelings, because you've been busy on track trying to subconsciously prove something to other people. You know, so I mean, a lot of people have childhood stuff, you know. I mean, we are surrounded, what's that, you know, we're born into the land of giants, and the land of giants says, I must find out what that, if anybody knows what that book is or what that story is, let me know, because I only actually know the outsides of it, which is basically that we're born into the land of giants who tell us what to do and how to be, you know. So sometimes you can go a whole lifetime without working out what eggs you like, you know, because you're surrounded by musts and shoulds, and actually we don't take enough time out to actually go, well, actually that doesn't, no, actually for whatever reason that doesn't fit with me, I want to go and do this instead. But it might be completely weird to everybody else, but you still want to do it. Oh, what's that bird book? Right, I shall put it in the comments when I remember what it is. and it's about a bird. Oh, Seagull, Jonathan the Seagull. Jonathan Seagull. Read that. Jonathan Seagull. It's probably on YouTube on an audio book, but read Jonathan Seagull, because you can, you know, you can just break out of society and you can go forward. I'm sure it's Jonathan Seagull, in your own way, and then, you know, it'll be fine. Rest, this is the advice. Rest, take some time out, okay? Because this might be being a really big deal if you're having like a major change where you've been doing something and, you know, that you feel like that's coming to an end and you're not entirely sure what's going to happen next, but you don't really know where to go or whatever. So, and it can be overwhelming. I've got to carry on doing this, but it doesn't fit me anymore, or whatever it is. So rest, recuperation and reward. Take some time out. You know, take some time out to just mellow out, you know. Stop running around like a blue fly and doing all this other stuff, and actually take that time to yourself. You know, instead of doing something, have a bath. Instead of doing something, go for a walk. Instead of doing something, put the telly on. Instead of doing something, lay down in the silence. Just because it can be completely overwhelming when you're deciding that you're actually going to start looking after yourself, and you have to think about, well, how do I want to look after myself even? How do I even look after myself? I've been so busy looking after everybody else. How do I even do that? And then what you're going to have is you're going to come out with balance. So this will be the outcome. At least you'll have some sort of balance of life. So maybe you haven't got a work-life balance. Maybe you haven't got as much socialising as on your own time. You know, maybe you haven't got as many activities as you've got work. You know, so maybe you should just do that. All work and no play makes everybody a dull person. Yeah. So it's about looking after you. You really need to look after you, and this is why you're stuck. Maybe you've not been spending enough time with you. It's all about you. It's all about each of these star signs. All these readings are basically, I'm just going to label them all the same because it is. It's all about you. Happy days. Namaste.